Hello, this is Brett from Survival Comms, and this is video response 8 to Step One Survival's Bug Out Bag Inch Bag Challenge. And the subject of today's video is food. Food on the move. Bugging out is movement, and movement is life. So any foodstuff selections you make for your bug out of your inch bag should take this into consideration. And that brings us to our first question, which is how much food? In my opinion, 3 to 5 days worth of food. And you could certainly prolong that operational period through rationing it, or if your physical ability allows you to carry more food, you can certainly do so if you felt it was desirable. But in that situation, it's important to remember and be cognizant of your own physical ability and your ability to transport a load and to balance that load across rugged terrain in an austere environment. How heavy? 2 pounds per day maximum for a 24-hour menu is an excellent goal, in my opinion. If you can keep it under 2 pounds per day, you've done well in your meal selections. What types of food? Well, your foodstuff should be portable, meaning that they're non-perishable. They're durable enough to withstand rough handling without becoming unpalatable. They should be of an easy or no preparation variety, and in my opinion, an easy preparation is just boiling water, and a no preparation meal is something you can eat dry while you're moving. And they should be light. You should always consider weight in your choices, and the foodstuff choices you make should be nutritionally dense. And for that 3 to 5 day operational period, the 3 most important things to consider is calories, carbohydrates, and protein. Without this becoming a video on nutrition, we'll go ahead and take into account one of the easiest to measure variables in meal selection for a bug out bag or a backpacking trip or whatever have you. And that's calories. That's merely the amount of fuel that you need to function from day to day. And if we look here at our average caloric intake for a male 31 to 50 years of age is 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day is what he's going to consume just doing his regular everyday activities. Now, if we take our caloric expenditure and increase it by, in this example here, is just merely the act of moving with a 30-pound pack over average terrain, you can see that we increase that to 550 to 600 calories per hour of activity. Now, reduction in calories outside of the effects of what you could consider to be starvation, which for the bug out period really isn't a consideration, but just a lack of energy and the psychological effects of not having anything to eat are great. But the measurable effects in the long term are if you reduce your calories 500 calories per day, you'll lose a pound of weight a week. That's common wisdom. I mean, of course, it's not something you can apply to everyone. So it could also be taken that if you increase your activity by 500 calories a day, that you would also lose a pound a week. But what this means for us is to find your average. Figure out how much food you normally eat during a day and just track it for a week. And then what your average is going to be what you want to plan for your meals and your eating at a minimum. Let's talk about caloric density. Caloric density is basically the weight of the foodstuff and versus its value in calories. I've assembled just a variety of what we consider to be portable foods that are useful for backpacking, bugging out, camping, or a trip to the beach if you wanted to. Lifeboat food. They sell these at Walmart now. This is great for like sticking in a vehicle or something like that. It's got like a 5-year shelf life. I'm sure it would go a little further than that. It's not very appetizing. When you eat one of these, it's very concentrated, so when you eat one of these, you better have a lot of water on hand to get it down. And one of these bars here, it weighs 18 ounces, and this right here has the calories for one individual per day. So the caloric density of this particular item here is 133 calories per ounce of weight. Peanut butter. There are 2,880 calories in this one jar of peanut butter right here, giving it a value of 144 calories per ounce. Trail mix. This is just your regular old Walmart trail mix. There's 3,520 calories contained in this one package here, giving it a caloric density value of 135 calories per ounce. These little Knorr meals are very inexpensive, like $1.50 a piece. This one here is the teriyaki noodles, and this one right here it consists of 2 servings. So total for 5 ounces of weight, it's 560 calories contained in this pack here, and giving it a caloric value of 112 calories per ounce. Your quintessential dehydrated food, your Mountain House meals right here. This Mountain House meal is 520 calories, giving it a value of 104 calories per ounce. Instant lunch, which in my opinion is the most palatable of the ramen noodle varieties. There's 290 calories in this container right here, giving it a caloric value or caloric density value of 96 calories per ounce. Pecan praline granola, just your regular old granola in a bag here, which is kind of like Heartland cereal or whatever have you. There's 2,100 ounces in this 16-ounce container, giving it a caloric value or a caloric density value of 131.25 calories per ounce. Knowing what our average caloric intake is, we can go ahead and assemble meals. And between 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day, this is an example of what you could set up. The sum calories for this meal, for a 24-hour period rather, is 2,630 calories. And I've just packaged them up into individual portions for the day with a vacuum sealer. We have 1.5 cups of granola, 1.5 cups of trail mix as a snack throughout the day, 1 cup of Knorr teriyaki noodles for lunch, and then for our supper entree, we have 1 Mountain House beef stroganoff meal. And the weight, including packaging, is 22 ounces. Let's talk about drink mix options. This right here is a relatively new product where they've actually added caffeine to it, but this is like an electrolyte replacement. It's an effervescent tablet, which you would drop into 16 ounces of water, and it provides a certain amount of flavor, and it adds a little bit of caffeine, which is good, because especially if you're a coffee drinker, you go 48 hours without caffeine, you're going to start to have a caffeine deprivation headache, which is not fun to have. Ultimately, you'll probably want to wean yourself off of it, but in the meantime, why suffer through it, especially when you're trying to move from point A to point B in an austere environment. This right here is an excellent nutritional supplement. This is 270 calories. You mix this with 16 to 24 ounces of water, and this particular flavor, the orange vanilla, tastes like a creamsicle. And you can see here, it has some protein, 7 grams of protein. It has some sodium in it, but only 9%. And it's got, trace vitamins and stuff in it. But this is a good nutritional supplement to have. And you could actually take that and mix that up and have that with your breakfast if you chose to, or before you went to bed. Coffee. I'm not a big fan of Starbucks, but definitely the Starbucks instant coffee, in my opinion, is the best of breed. And if it's hot out, like it is right now, and you don't feel like having a hot beverage in the morning, you could always go with this right here, which is the iced coffee variant of it. And this actually has about 50 calories because it's got sugar and everything inside of it already. Emergency. I know this stuff's available just about everywhere, and this adds a little bit of vitamin supplementation to your food, and it's a relatively inexpensive beverage base to throw in with the rest of your foodstuffs. Now, what I typically do with one of these, remember this right here is 260 calories, I believe. 290 calories, almost 300 calories in this right here. And I don't want this styrofoam container. So I just basically break up the noodles inside of the container as such. And I'll either take that right there after opening it, and for the short term, place it in a Ziploc bag, or for longer term, so now you have 300 calories in a simple to prepare meal. You just place that in a three-quarter liter pot with a couple ounces of water. And it weighs 2.5 ounces. I hope this helps. This is Brett from Survival Comms. Till next time.